I think the thing that's so special about Laura is the heart behind our whole ministry. It's not just to help people get up so that they can be up. It's to help people get up so that they can help others get up.
Right.
And that's what we see with Laura.
It's a chain reaction.
It is. It is. That's the reason the ministry is called Love Works. We know that love actually works. Yes. And we are called as Christians not just to love people, but to, if we see a need, to do something about that need. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Absolutely.
Each day at Wesley Meadows is a new opportunity to serve older adults and reimagine retirement living. It is the heart of their mission that inspires their team to provide the kind of fun atmosphere and care residents would want for themselves. Experience the warm spirit and faith-based difference of Wesley Meadows. Call 662-429-2070 and schedule your visit today. Hello and welcome to The Real Hernando, presented to you by Wesley Meadows Retirement Community and SRP Studios. This podcast spotlights Hernando's organizations and community leaders by sharing their stories and what led them to serve the community. Please follow us at therealhernando.com for all channels and social media platforms. I'm your host, Derek, and today we are spotlighting the Love Works 2540 ministry. Love Works 2540 help people that are facing difficult times to get back on their feet and be a strong member of society, all while pointing them to Christ and working through Christ. For more information, please call City Hall Cheesecake. And you're wondering why City Hall Cheesecake? Well, you're going to ask for Kim Daly. And why? Because Kim Daly and Laura Vacca are here to educate us more on what this ministry is and also tell Laura's story, because this ministry indeed is a very close thing to your life because it worked through you. So thanks for being here today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so this is Kim's second round with us. Yeah. The first one, anyone that wants to go check out last season, go down at realhernando.com, scroll down, and you'll see us spotlighting City Hall Cheesecake. But now we're here for the ministry. And we touched on that a little bit in that episode because it's certainly part of your story. And I remember the story about you and your husband taking in people to your home. And so hopefully we can get into all that as well. But we're also here to talk about you, Laura, and get your story. So thanks for being here. And why don't we extrapolate a little bit on the purpose of this ministry, extrapolate what I just gave in the intro and talk a little more about what it is and what it does.
Sure. So this is very much an accidental ministry. I did not set out ever in my life to have any sort of ministry, nor did I set out to be a small business owner. But what happened was I began to read God's Word and began to see that my life didn't look like the life of Christ, and began to get a little bit uncomfortable with it. And I remember praying and asking God, hey, I don't really know homeless people or people in poverty, and I'm kind of okay with that. So if you want me to know these people, you need to bring some people into my life, but I'm cool if you don't, was basically what I told the Lord.
You opened the door, didn't you?
Yeah, I opened the door, but didn't think he was going to ask me to walk through it. And, the Cliff's Notes version is I was blissfully unaware that there were people in DeSoto County in our community who were struggling financially in ways that I had never struggled before. I mean, it's just, our community is so lovely and such a precious place. It's hard to imagine that there are people who struggle with homelessness or
real
food
poverty.
scarcity. Yes, real poverty exists in our area. It's very neatly manicured and hidden for the most part, but it exists. And shortly after that prayer, so this was about 11 years ago, we came face-to-face in contact with a man who was living in a mini storage unit. That was his home.
That's the story. I remember that. Where was the storage unit?
Here in Hernando. It was in Hernando.
Yeah.
So invited him to dinner. He came to dinner at our house, and we heard his story for the first time, and my heart was broken at that point. So we invited him to spend the night because we had an extra bed and he needed a place to stay.
Which is unbelievable, by the way.
It's a little weird, but
not many would do that.
I want to say that I think it sounds big when you look back on it, but really, I think real ministry happens one little decision at a time. I did not invite him to dinner with the thought of, hi, I think I would like to invite a stranger to spend the night at my house, but a decision to invite him to dinner became a decision to have a conversation with him, which became a decision to have compassion for somebody, which became a decision to offer a bedroom. And it was little tiny steps of obedience.
It builds to a level of, well, you know what, we can trust him in our home.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, that's still...
The world is crazy.
Yes.
So he spent the night, and that night turned into about a year and a half of him living with us, which at that time period, I was working for DeSoto County Schools, and my goal was to rise up through the ranks and, rule the educational world in the strongest school district in the state of Mississippi. And the Lord radically redirected my path, because through our relationship with that man, we became more and more aware of needs in our community, because he kept introducing us to other people who needed help. And before we knew it, a ministry was born, and God had called us to do something. When you've come face to face with poverty and with need, you have two choices. You can ignore it, or you can do something about it. And in that moment, made the conscious decision that we would spend the rest of our lives doing as much as we could for as many people as we could in every way that we could for the glory of the Lord. And accidental ministry was born. So I quit my job and just began going, okay, Lord.
Another massive leap of faith, right?
Yeah. Some would call it tomfoolery.
Yeah, because we all need to pay the bills.
Yeah. But it's crazy how when you give God the opportunity to be God, he shows up as God. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy how that works.
And I want to get to Laura here quickly, but if I remember the story correctly, City Hall cheesecake was a blessing, and you started using that as a place to give people work.
Absolutely.
That's the genesis of City Hall Cheesecake. That's the genesis,
yeah. So I like to describe this ministry as not a blanket and sandwich ministry. It doesn't look like a homeless ministry that you might see in a larger city. What it looks like is loving people where they are and helping them get out of the situations that has caused them to land where they are. So as people would come through the ministry, what we noticed was they needed jobs. And in small towns, it's hard sometimes to find second, third, 45th chance employment. And it's hard to find a healthy work environment. It's hard to find a place that will encourage you and build you up. And so I began to pray that the Lord would give us something. And City Hall Cheesecake was one of my favorite little dessert shops. And when it came up for sale, it was kind of a no-brainer. Even though I had no restaurant experience and had never made a cheesecake, it was kind of a no-brainer to purchase a small business and be able to do life with people. You think about it, where do your friendships come in? It's through work. It's through the people you meet.
Sometimes you see your fellow employees more than your family.
Absolutely. So what better place to be shoulder to shoulder and invest in people than through giving an opportunity for employment. Mm-hmm. And so that's how City Hall came to be, And so those two ministries, when people ask me to talk about ministry, it's very much not just Love Works, but it's also a cheesecake business, because we do it all
And who doesn't
together.
Like cheesecake?
Well,
And your cheesecake is delicious. I got a peek in the kitchen. How many of those mixers do you have back there? I mean, I don't want to derail.
I think there are about 20 now. Yeah. It just depends. We have a constant rotation of mixers going to the mixer graveyard and being resuscitated. We go through a lot of them. Yeah.
I strongly suggest the little cupcake because you can get like a pack, 6 top of it, and you try
all different flavors. Try a little bit of everything.
Yes. So that's Laura. You just heard. So now let's segue into that. So. Should we just share how you came to be. Let's talk about where you're from and everything, and then what led you to, Kim Daly and LoveWorks.
Well, I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, so I am a Yankee. You might hear it.
I'm from Maine. All right.
Oh, I lived in Bangor for quite some time.
I went to college there.
Oh, I love Maine. I love Maine. It's so beautiful.
Wicked awesome.
Wicked. And, well, at the time, I had moved here in 2008, and at the time that I met Kim Daly, I was actually living in a ministry, Precious and Pink ministry.
Ann Lunsford. She's in this very corner y'all sitting in. Yes,
she was with you. I saw that.
Yeah.
Her and Jessica Cox.
No, I had her alone.
Okay.
Which was, awesome. Yeah.
Well,
talk about God's work there.
Yes,
absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
I lived with her for quite some time, and we had just came back from the Ark in the Creation Museum in Kentucky.
That's the Ark for Southerners.
What's funny is I've been in the South a long time now. I was like, what's the Ark? Like, okay.
It's the Ark.
Yeah, Ark. I went to the Ark.
It's the New England Ark.
In Kentucky, yeah.
Yes, and I just came home from that. We had a wonderful trip. And I got this call out of the blue. And they said, you have an interview at City Hall Cheesecake. Go up there and speak to Kim Daly tomorrow.
Oh, so Ann Lunsford worked with you?
Yes, Ann and I have had a wonderful opportunity to partner because, we're all doing the same thing. We just want to be a blessing.
Yes.
So we partner very much.
And I said, okay, well, City Hall Cheesecake, what is that all about? I had no idea. So the next day I went up there and I spoke to Lori, and the rest is history. The funny story about it is I worked for about a month or two in the back making cookies. And one day I just walked in and I said, Lori, I just don't think that this is for me. I'm back here by myself, and I had... and this and that. And she says, okay, well, wait, you take the day off and I'm going to speak to Kim and we're going to pray about this and we'll get back to you. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I went back outside and I said to Miss Ann, I just quit my job. And she said, okay, well, it's up to you. It's your life, And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's for me. The next day I received a call from Kim and Lori, and they said, we prayed about it, and with Kim's infinite wisdom and her direct line to God, they said, we feel like we want you in the front of the house serving customers. I said, oh, okay, well, I'll try it. And that was it. I was hooked. I just love the people. I get to decorate cupcakes and just the people that come in there. I have a special client list. We make over 100 different flavored cheesecakes. So you come in all the time and you're looking for a specific kind of cheesecake. And I say, well, wait 1 second. What's your name and your phone number? What are you looking for? And I write it on my list. And when I come in every day, I'll look at my list. I'll see what we have in the case and who wants what. And I'll call them and I'll say, hey, I've got the banana joy in the jar today. I've got the red velvet today. Come on in. They're like, yeah, thanks for calling. And I'm like, cool.
I'll take some key lime when you get a chance.
Okay, I'll put you on my list.
and if you've ever encountered Laura, like if you've ever walked in that little blue house in Hernando or at the shops at Silo, you know her immediately. I cannot describe to you the number of phone calls that I have received from friends in the community who say, I just went in your shop and I love Laura. Mm-hmm. Or stories like, I was having a really bad day and that sweet lady in your shop stopped and prayed for me and came and, hugged my kids or made me a shaved ice. That's who she is. Mm-hmm. Laura is not a taker. She's been a giver.
Look, you could have the best cheesecake in the world, but people buy people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
If you have bad customer service, they're not going to come back.
She is incredible. She is so incredible.
And how long has this been now?
2.5 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So one of the beautiful things about our relationship is that we watched Laura grow in confidence, grow in her relationship with Christ. We've watched her invest in the younger girls who work for us, and we have watched as other team members have invested in Laura in hard times. And, probably 6 to 8 months after she had been there, she came to me and said, I'd really like to transition out of Ann's house. I think I've got my job. I'm solid. What do you think about helping me? And, I just said, well, let me pray. I'll pray. And so for months and months and months, I prayed for the Lord to give us an opportunity to open something up. And almost a year? How long has it been?
Almost a year. Yeah. February will be a year. Yeah. Yes.
We got her moved into an apartment on her own.
And it's glorious.
Yeah.
The job has been God ordained. Yeah. And I know that because it's not a job for me. It's fun. Face it. It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. But it's Kim Daly's.
It's easy to go to work when it's that way, isn't it?
It's like Kim Daly's cheesecake factory. And it's just a blast. It's just a blast. I've met so many wonderful people. Just 2 weeks ago, a lady walked in. I just so happened to be in Silo Square that day, and I very rarely work down there, but I'm working down there a little bit more now.
But you're mostly Hernando.
Yes, mostly Hernando. That's our main baby.
Yeah, that's where all the magic happens.
Yes,
it is.
Yes, and some lady walked in, and I just started talking to her. I have a little bit of a gift to gab, and she said, "How would you like to come on a ministry walk, a discipleship walk?" And that's now I'm going at the end of October on a discipleship walk. And just the people that I have met there that come in, I meet so many good people. Get to pray with people, how you doing today? That just opens a whole door. Well, this is happening, that's happening. Let's pray about it. Where do you go to church?
Yeah.
Let's go to church together,
I think the thing that's so special about Laura is the heart behind our whole ministry. It's not just to help people get up so that they can be up. It's to help people get up so that they can help others get up.
Right.
And that's what we see with Laura.
It's a chain reaction.
It is. That's the reason the ministry is called Love Works. We know that love actually works. Yes. And we are called as Christians not just to love people, but to, if we see a need, to do something about that need. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Absolutely.
5M Services, your comfort specialists. We offer heating, ventilating, and air conditioning service. Call us for any of your HVAC needs. 662-560-7331. We are here for you 24/7.
Team Couch of Birch Realty Group is a full-service team of realtors specializing in real estate sales. With over 900 transactions alone in the past 5 years, their experience is your best asset. Go to teamcouch.com or call 662-449-1700.
And I have been so blessed in my partnership with Laura because I see that every day. I see her using the gifts and the talents that the Lord has given her to be a blessing to other people. I see her serving her guts out and constantly, our motto is choose joy. I've never, ever, ever walked in the shop a day, ever, in 2.5 years, where Laura is not choosing joy and not spreading joy to other people in the community. She's the first person to serve, the first person to love. We have a Bible study that meets there on Mondays that we just open up to the community to come and read the Word together, figure out what God's Word says. And Laura is there, and not only is she there, she's investing in people in that Bible study.
And it's amazing.
It's just
been an amazing
making
Bible
connections.
Study.
Yeah.
Making connections and networking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we see the impact that can happen when you put feet to your faith.
Yeah. Laura, now I know because of Ann and I always want to say pretty in pink.
Precious in pink.
Precious in pink. I know what that ministry is about. Would you mind talking about your past and what led you there?
Not at all.
Because for context, Precious in Pink is a ministry that takes in women
Yes.
that are coming out of prison, jail. And it's not really a halfway house, but she is sanctioned by the courts where some people have to, if you leave Ann's house, there's a warrant, which is amazing that a judge trusts Ann in that way.
Absolutely.
And she's got a big house out here and does amazing work for women.
Absolutely.
So if you don't mind, let's talk about how what your story is that led you to there.
Well, I was an alcoholic for many, many years. And 2015, I actually sold some Lortab to a friend trying to make some money to pay my rent because my father had just passed away.
And this is up in Boston still?
No, this is in South Haven, Mississippi.
Okay, so you've made the move down.
Yes, I moved here in 2008. 2014, my father came to live with me, and he was dying of lung cancer, and he passed away in 2015. And I was alone with this house. So I was trying desperately to save the house, and I sold some lure tab to a friend of mine. Little did I know she was a CI, secret informant. And so, the rest is I got busted, and I actually went to Miss Ann's house for about 10 months, and because I knew her from being in DeSoto County Jail. And we fought it. We tried to fight it. But there was no way around it. God had different plans. I wanted to get on drug court. It's a big program, drug court, and I wouldn't have to go to prison. But God said, no, I've got work to do with you.
You needed some time out.
I need some time out. So I went to prison up in Rankin for a year. And it was rough, but I got so close to God there. I did Bible studies, and I try to, do the right thing. And I'll tell you, it wasn't easy, but I did it. Miss Ann picked me up the day I was released. She came all the way up there and got me, and I stayed with her for 3.5 years. And she changed my life. I didn't have a license for 12 years because of all my DUIs. And we got my license back. We paid all my fines. We did all this stuff. I started working at City Hall Cheesecake. And I was, pretty much stable on my feet. And when I met Kim Daly, my whole world changed. My whole world changed. And now I have a car and a license and a place to live and the best job. I've got the best job in the world, the best little apartment, the best car. My daughter is amazing.
How old's your daughter?
My daughter's 24. Her name is Autumn.
Did she move down with you in 08?
No, yeah, she did. She moved down with me in 08. But when things started falling through and I went to jail, she moved to Arizona to live with her father.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now she's out on her own now, and she's in a little apartment there, and she's just doing wonderful. And she's my best friend, and she comes all the time visiting me here, and I go there. And it's just been amazing. I've thought about moving out there to be with her, but there's just no way.
No, ma'am, don't even say that.
What are you talking about?
Absolutely no way I'm going to leave this community.
Goodness.
This community has lifted me up, and the people around me have, the family, like the people at the shop. We're family. They have gone through so much with me, the whole, how am I going to pass this driving test? Oh my God, test me, give me questions.
After not driving for 12 years, that must have been very strange. I can't imagine not driving for 12 years.
Yes, 12 years. I didn't have a license, and the girls at the shop would question me, shoot me questions. Okay, you got this, and the whole moving, Lori, our manager at the shop. One day I went to work at 10 o'clock in the morning, and she said, give me your keys. I said, why? She says, well, I've got a bed for you. I said, okay. Well, I gave her my keys. By the time I got off at 5 o'clock that night, I came home. She had rearranged and put up pictures, put up a bed, a beautiful canopy bed, put furniture in my house.
Made it a home.
Made it a home for me.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't even there,
I could use you.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I have a nice apartment, but I don't have anything on my walls, and it really is sterile. I'm just a guy.
I didn't have one thing. One thing when I moved, just boxes.
Really, when we got her apartment, there was nothing. I said, Laura, what do we need to move? And she was like, I've got my clothes.
And it's so hard to start out, to get furniture. But the
Lord has.
Oh, let me tell you.
It's been incredible.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't have a car when I first moved in there. I didn't have anything, just the clothes on my back. And it was so close for me to work. And I walked to work every day from the Magnolias to the Cheesecake Place. And,
it's a decent little hike.
Yeah. It was good for me, though. I never drove home. God bless.
You cut through the tunnel by the middle school, by Kroger?
I could never figure out where that was. Everybody would tell me, there's a tunnel there. And I'm like, I'm just going to walk down Commerce under the bridge.
That's the scary part.
That is the scary part. But, I never walked home at night. God blessed me with people to give me rides home every night because I
Well,
would
if you
not.
need a ride, seriously,
I don't anymore.
you just walk over.
Yes, God blessed me with a car, a little over a month ago. And life has been so good. Through Kim and her love, how can you not go out and share the love of Jesus? Because, people have invested and loved me, poured love into me. And God's lavish love on my life is just amazing. Yeah. So how can you not go out, and just do it for other people?
This way it should be.
Absolutely. Yeah. The hands and feet of Jesus.
And if there's any encouragement through this, like you don't have to start a nonprofit or have a 501c3, or you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is be kind. Mm-hmm. Like if you see a need, do your best to meet that need. And if you can't meet that need, ask around and see.
Absolutely.
Because it is unreal. Like when people unify to do good, great happens. It's the most incredible thing ever. And it seeing it and being a part of it makes you want to do it more and be more of a part of it. It's just this kind of snowball effect. Like one little bitty step gives you the courage to take a bigger step, and then a bigger step, and then a bigger step. And you develop this army.
You don't realize.
I was going to say, it's hard to see it through all the noise of media and social media, but you know what? There are good people on this earth.
Certainly.
They just don't get spotlighted except for on the Real Hernando.
Yeah, shout out.
But for real, and it's easy to forget that.
Yeah.
And I would think, like you said, just be kind, help, and then you start making relationships with other people that are like-minded, that want to do the same, and now you have like a little army. You say, and boom, now you're getting some things. You
wouldn't believe just the littlest things, the littlest, kindest things, like a smile or a hug, or just a friendly face. Walk in my shop, and you want to pray, you want to talk. Come on back. I don't eat cheesecake. That's okay.
Shame on you.
We'll grab
Not
a cup.
eating cheesecake.
We'll grab a cup of coffee. We'll have a sit down. You know what I mean?
Because City Hall Cheesecake's a great little hangout spot. It's got a good vibe back there. It's an old house.
Yeah.
It's really cool back there.
It's a really old.
And it all kind of trickles down. What you do for someone, if you cheer them up and you make their day, they'll go out, and they're in a good mood. So they're going to smile and they're going to help somebody else out. And it just snowballs.
And I fall victim like anyone else, driving and you getting upset at someone for not using the turning signal. It's so silly. So then you ride like, dude, come on. You talk yourself down, but we're human. Yeah. We're all broken in our own little ways. But if you can just, like you said, maybe you don't realize what that other person might be going through. Yeah. And I know personally, I'm good at hiding things.
Yeah.
As a defense mechanism. Yeah. People do that. But you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of miserable day someone's having. They lost a loved one.
Yeah. Absolutely. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm great. And you just keep going. No,
That's the standard answer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm fine.
I'm
great.
good.
How are you? Yeah. Well, come on. I can take it. Tell me what's going on. Give me the real dirt. We'll work through it together.
That's been the beauty of doing so much life together. It's easy to hide in a short burst, but long-term relationships don't lend well toward lies. The truth of who she is going to come out in our long-term relationship together. You can only fake it for so long, which is the beauty of this.
You can't keep track of your lies.
You can't. Mm-hmm. And so, we see the real people kind of come out and that's the beauty of working together on the daily. Like you do get to know the real struggles, the real fears, all those things. And we get the privilege of, sharing those burdens together.
It really is a family at City Hall Cheesecake. I can't stress that enough. I walk in there every day and I'm like, my family, this is what's going on with me. What's going on with you? Let's help each other. Yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's very sweet.
So I'm just curious, 25-40. There's got to be a meaning behind that.
There is. Matthew 25:40, that which you've done to the least of these, you've done unto me. And that's Christ speaking there. And it's just a reminder that that tag is on the end of that ministry to keep me grounded in the fact that this is not about my glory. It's not about making a better Hernando. It's not about any of that. It's about recognizing what Christ has done for me and having my life be an extension of his love for me toward others. And it's a way to bring honor and glory to the one who saved me.
I knew there'd be a great story behind that random number.
Yeah, random number behind it.
Yeah, if you're looking at the logo, 2540.
I mean, what is that? Yeah.
To go full circle back to the story about the gentleman in the storage unit.
Yeah.
Where's he at now?
He lives here in Hernando. He still walks to work. He works at a restaurant here in town. He's doing great. He's doing absolutely great. Very involved. He had a birthday just a couple of weeks ago, so he's doing great.
That's good.
Living life, doing well. Yeah.
So how does, I know earlier I mentioned you'd call City Hall Cheesecake and reach out to Kim Daly if you want to help, but what is your need? Let's talk about what is it that you could use? Is more people? Do you take donations?
Sure.
What is your major need that would really kind of help fill some gaps for you?
Ministry is expensive. And one of the things that, like, just before we came to have this interview, I had a lady call and she needs somewhere to be for a month because she and her children are homeless. Now, in this economy, you and I both know that finding somewhere for somebody for a month is not easy and it's quite expensive. So financially, anything that you can donate, it is a 501c3, any amount financially
so it is an
does.
official,
It isn't, it's an official 501c3, so it's tax deductible. You can donate there. Another way that you could help is by being hands and feet. Like, truly, if you see needs, reach out, let me know. I'm happy to help anybody. Or you could try to meet it yourself. That would be a really neat thing.
Or team up.
Yeah, team up. Let's work together to meet the needs of those in our community as much as we possibly can. But, as far as stuff, when we move people into apartments and homes, I always put out an all call, like, we've got somebody moving in, I need a bed or I need a couch, and Hernando and DeSoto County shows up. So just kind of watch for those calls.
I'm a big fan of Hernando.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's a sweet place. Yeah. I truly believe it's the last Mayberry. I'm just telling you, I think it is.
It is.
It's darling.
I've said that so many times. It's Mayberry in 2023.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Dreamy. It's such a dreamy place. Yeah.
And now we're getting a Whataburger and a Dunkin' Donuts. It's like, when I finally got in here, that's when I was like, okay, no more.
Yeah.
I was like, as long as I can get in.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody else can come. That's okay. And now we're still a dreamy community. We just have carbs, more carbs available. It's fine.
Yes.
It's totally fine.
Plenty of carbs at City Hall Cheesecake.
Yeah, that's right.
For sure. So, New England. I moved to Nashville in 2005. You've been here since 2008. You've hung on to that accent, haven't you?
Just a little bit. I don't know why. I just can't get rid of it, but that's okay. I'm proud to be a New Englander.
Same here.
Should be.
And I didn't try to get rid of mine, and I'm not saying I sound Southern in any way, but if you would have heard me however many years ago, 18, 19 years ago, different guy. Going to the bar, driving my car, wicked awesome,
Yeah.
But it's interesting. But my mom just moved, so she's been here maybe close to 2 years now.
Does she like it?
Yeah. She doesn't like the heat.
Yeah.
Right. The humidity's a killer. Yeah, we don't either. But, the snow, though, on the other hand, you don't have to go out there and shovel your walk, worry about all that, but it was beautiful. I loved it. It was enriching.
So I grew up in Maine, and my grandfather's a lobsterman, and I hate seafood.
Oh, my.
I don't ski on water or snow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hike. I don't hunt. I don't fish. Why am I in Maine?
Yeah.
So when I moved down here, I just I don't like the cold. I hate cold weather.
Oh, no.
So I fit right in. I moved south. I was like, yep, here I am.
Here I am.
The winters in Maine are brutal.
Yeah, it's awful.
Brutal.
Long and just a lot of snow. I would say over a course of a winter, because Kim, and we all know now what happens in the South when it snows.
Yes, we shut down.
We shut down.
Yes.
Granted, we have tools up north, but in the course of a standard winter, overall about 3 feet of snow through the season.
Absolutely.
We would die with 3 feet of snow.
Could you imagine?
It
would be a state of emergency.
It would be.
The president would be coming down.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They'd close everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think we got a foot a couple of years ago, and we were shut down for like 2 weeks. Don't you remember?
Oh, yeah, I
It was
remember
crazy.
that. I remember that. And I think that was during COVID.
Yes. And we were still shut down. We
it
were
was
like,
just like, man, well, I'm just staying home.
it was Snowvid.
Snowvid. I like that. I like that. Snowvid.
Sorry.
That's funny.
I'm weird.
2020 gave me such a great excuse to gain weight.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
man.
You can always blame it on the vid.
yeah.
The vid. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. Thanks for
Thanks.
coming up here.
Thank you.
Is there anything that we're missing that you'd like to share?
Prayer works.
Prayer works. Well, I think that's a great spot to end.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes. Just pray. If you can't do anything else for people, pray for them because it is powerful.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Helps you unify and unite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God is good. God is so good.
Yeah.
And real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's working in my daughter's life right now. I've been praying and praying. She's not saved. I've been praying that, she'd get closer to God. And she started going to church. He answers prayers. He does, people. He answers everything in his time, but he will answer.
Amen.
That's the thing. It's
Yes.
like you just pray for clarity on your plan. Help me understand where you're taking me.
Yeah. He
You
has
know?
yet to help me understand. I'm still confused about what I'm doing with
I
my
know.
life.
Yeah, because it's the worry, right? You're trying to get rid of the worry of what's to come in the unknown.
Worry is a sin.
Ooh, Laura coming in with the heat.
Man.
Don't worry or be anxious for anything. But in prayer and petition, present your request to God.
And he will give
And
you
he
the
will give you
desires.
Amen to
the
that.
heart of Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we officially say goodbye, let's just give some info to the audience and thank them. Thank you for watching and listening. Please share this. That's what I can say. The best way for you to help them, Kim and Laura, and then this podcast and the whole overall message and reach of this is sharing is caring. right?
Absolutely.
Just share this on a Facebook page. You'll see if you follow us on Facebook at The Real Hernando, you'll see these posts. There's clips of this episode. Just click the share button. Throw a comment if you want. Hit the like button. That goes so far. So that would be great. You can also find this podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all the audio platforms. I want to thank all of our sponsors that help this podcast hum. If you go to therealhernando.com, click that sponsor link, and you'll see all of our sponsors in there, and you can find their websites through that. So please go patronize them. If you want to learn how maybe becoming a sponsor, you can go to the description area. There's a form link in there for you if you want to learn more about that. I'll just be following up with you, not agreeing to anything. And that's it. So again, Kim Daly, Laura Vacca.
Yes.
All right. Go New England. Go Patriots, Red Sox.
Yes. Yes. Bruins.
Bruins. Said like the right way. Bruins. Bruins. I love it. So yeah, thanks for being here.
You're so welcome. Come into City Hall Cheesecake and see me anytime.
Key lime, I'm telling you. You got to go with it. Thanks, everyone.